Hello and welcome back to PSY-POD, the podcast about nothing, the podcast where we bring local people for local vibes. We are just like Bhutanese people eating red rice and doma and not exercising and wondering why we're fat and lazy. Same energy. Anyways, who do we have here today? Can you please kindly look into the camera and say hello to our local and international fans?
This is Tshering Dorji, popularly known as Mr.Bhutan, and I help individuals build a mind and body that serves them. So that's my short introduction.
Okay, Achu. Yeah, we'll get to know Achu and more when we start. So live, that being said, live from Juno Studios, PSY-POD starts now.
PSY-POD.
Okay guys, be honest. Have you ever said, I'll study abroad one day, then immediately opened up Instagram and started scrolling? Well then listen properly, because today's episode is sponsored by Global Reach, Bhutan's first and most trusted education consultancy with over 22 years of valuable industry experience. And that's not just vibes, that's 2 decades of students actually flying out. At Global Reach, it's not just pick a country and then play to Ekazati for visa. You get experience counseling and proper GS guidance, which means your story and your plans actually make sense to you and your visa officer. And yes, they don't just offer one dream destination, they offer multi-destination guidance for multiple countries like here, and here, and more. Basically, your dream country can change, but your support team doesn't have to. Plus, they also help you with the not so much fun but very important stuff like health insurance, visa application and full visa process, air ticketing, overseas bank account setup, and even a proper pre-departure session, so you don't have to worry about landing in another country and suddenly realize you forgot everything except your charger. And here's the big news for students and parents. Through Global Reach, you can get connected to universities that offer scholarships from 10% all the way to 100%. Yes, no clickbait, but actual opportunities. That's because it is in Global Reach's best interest to ensure you get the right tools to make the best informed decision. So if you're really serious about studying abroad and not just reposting dance covers, why don't you do it with the people who've been doing it for 22 years? Global Reach, a trusted name, a trusted brand. Okay, all right, we're back. Before we begin, we just have to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. So first of all, thank you to DOMCIIP for supporting this podcast, and also we need to thank our lovely people who help this podcast, our PODHEADS. We have a membership program also who help directly support this podcast. So they're called the PODHEADS. So if you look up right now, there's nothing, but in post-production they'll be floating in the sky. They'll all be here, all floating. So thank you to our PODHEADS. Shout out to our PODHEADS. Thank you for supporting this podcast. By doing so, you help with the welfare of this podcast and also the token of my heart. You get certain things like early releases. So if you're a PODHEAD right now, this episode will come 2 days before it comes to the general public. Also, you get badges. So when you comment, you get a nice badge to be, to show that you're a member. You also get member-only posts. And what else do you get? Yeah, you get some member-only posts and early releases. That's nice. And then also token of my heart. And also you can upgrade your plan and become a PODHEAD Pro. And that will give you a special more shout-outs like this. Now again, there's under the fixes have appeared, but now in the bigger form. So there's a little tier above, actually. So you gotta give a shout-out to Rabsel, Lhendup, Norbu 7868, Rinzun Wong 6741, Kukumbu Tshomo, Tanin Pups, Norbu Digital, Karma Zimba 9121, and Pema Samrup 639, and Susan B. So shout out to you guys. Thank you. You're a tier above. You're a PODHEAD Pro. And yeah, thank you for supporting. And if you want to be a PODHEAD or a PODHEAD Pro, you can click the link in the description or press the join button. And this is for those of you living abroad because YouTube hates Bhutan. Anyways, speaking of Bhutan, we have Mr. Bhutan here. And we're going to talk about a lot of things. And if for those of you may not know, Achu is, I think, maybe the pioneer, one of the pioneers of bodybuilding in Bhutan. He's known as Mr. Bhutan because he was the inaugural Mr. Bhutan, right, Achu? And we'll talk about all that, but I think what I've recently noticed he wants to talk about his latest venture, which I know his younger brother Ngaong. So shout out to Ngaong. I said, oh, are you have a gym? And he told me, no, it's a temple. So I want to know the concept behind Antifragile Temple. So maybe Achu, you can talk about Antifragile Temple, why you started it, what was the concept behind it, and why you are so passionate with it right now, Achu.
I wanted to start Antifragile Temple to basically fill in the gap of the education system we have right now.
Okay.
So everything the current education system fails to provide,
Okay.
we at Antifragile Temple want to provide for the students.
Mm-hmm.
In order to understand the space, we need to understand a new word that's anti-fragile. Okay, it does not exist in the dictionary. It is coined by one of my favorite living authors called Nassim Nicholas Taleb. He gave me a word for a way of living I've always known. So in a way, he made it more visible so that I can explain it better to people. So anti-fragile basically means anyone or anything when exposed to adversity and challenge grows. For example, you're in the journey of building muscle now. You go to the gym, you lift weights, there's microscopic tears in your muscles, then given sufficient time rest, sleep, time away from training, sufficient calories and protein, your muscle fibers reconstitute themselves slightly better, slightly stronger than its former self. Over time, if you were able to do 10 push-ups initially, you end up doing 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's the anti-fragile quality. I need to give you many examples because many people get mixed up with anti-fragile and resilient and robust and unbreakable. So the other examples is COVID-19, our immune system.
Okay.
When our immune system is stressed, it becomes stronger. Just like when you had COVID-19, in order to overcome the pandemic, we need to immunize ourselves with a small dose of that virus. When you get that into our system, our immune system gets an opportunity to train and get stronger. So the next time when you face, you're in a much better position to endure it. So that's another example. One more example, the aviation industry. Every time there's a plane crash, there's deep investigation, and the findings are shared with the whole aviation industry, making the next flight, the next plane, a little bit more safer. Although it seems scary, plane accident is one of the safest statistically. That's because they grow from every setback. So that's anti-fragile. So we want to build students into anti-fragile human beings. Human beings who don't complain and blame, that are human beings who take responsibility and grow from everything that they're exposed to. And why temple is because any place of worship, including our Thimphu Memorial children, irrespective to what that individual's background is or normal behavior, when they enter Chorten, they behave in a certain manner. They circumambulate the Chorten, they prostrate, they manijanse, they come there with the intent of practicing their religion, whether it's a mosque or Thimphu Memorial Chorten. So I want when the students come to Antifragile Temple, they come with an intent to self-improvement and to serve. So that's why temple. And just like a temple, I want it to be neat, clean, and have only those tools that serves the purpose of the visit. That's why Antifragile Temple. So that's the meaning of Antifragile Temple, but why we built the space and community is basically to build contributing citizens of this planet eventually. That is our goal.
Okay, sure. So where did this concept with the books and then I think you have to read certain amount of books and also work out come in mind because you wanted to team both physical and try to make them also mental strength, also build mental strength, something like that. What was the concept with that?
So how we build contributing citizens of this planet is through our anti-fragile education. And that education entails 3 pillars. The first pillar is the body. Any gym, any fitness center is very much capable of doing that. Exercise, nutrition. Okay, that's what anyone can do. But we go beyond that. We have 2 other pillars. Both the second and third pillar is to build up the mind. The second pillar is what we call 10 books for life.
Okay.
You have 10 books in order that the students have to read. They have to answer a set of questions. And then after that, if I'm here, in person, we'll discuss not only the book, but the topic of the book, which is my expertise as well. And most importantly, our job at Antifragile Temple is to help translate the lessons of this book into a manner that, for example, Sai can understand and above all implement into his current lifestyle.
Okay.
We are not building intellectuals, we are building practitioners.
Okay.
So that's 10 books for life. And then the third pillar is what I've been doing in Bhutan and beyond, which is basically conducting talks on the mind, on health, on topics like sleep, nutrition, environmental design. So basically these are the three pillars. So we do not force, but we nudge our students to embrace not only the physical, but also the mental aspect of the education. And when you combine it, then you get a set of tools that probably most students don't know it exists. And if they are aware that it exists, they do not know how to apply.
Okay.
Our job is basically we are the bridge between knowledge and application. At least that's how I see myself or ourselves.
So yeah, Cho, the books, do you mind sharing what books you're making the people read who come to the temple, or is it like a secret for only the members up there?
No, it is not a secret actually. Since I inaugurated Antifragile Temple on January 4th this year, many people have interviewed me and they asked me. And I'll give you the same answer. I'll give you the first book. When you read it, then we can talk further. Otherwise, again, it's just, that book is about sleep. Okay. That's all that will happen. And I want to basically start an internal revolution where you really change the way you experience and eventually act in the world. So that's what the first book is called, Why We Sleep, by Dr. Matthew Walker.
Okay.
He is a neuroscientist and a sleep researcher.
Okay.
This book encapsulates 2 decades of his personal research on sleep and about a century of sleep science we have currently. So it quantifies the impact of sleep, both negative and positive, into every aspect of our lives. I can go on 2 hours just talking about sleep. In fact, this coming Sunday is our first group discussion where we are discussing the book and, more importantly, the topic of this book, which is sleep.
All right. So then, after that, then you get the next book.
Exactly. They finish that book.
Okay.
They answer a set of 6 questions. Then they meet me in person or via video. We discuss. And my goal is to make sure that they understand and apply into their life. And I always tell the kids, this is not an examination. This is a very joyful experience between 2 people. And the whole point is to help you understand and apply it into your life. If you fail to do that, it is not your fault. It is mine. It's my shortcoming. I'm not good enough a guide for you. So do not take any responsibility. The full responsibility is mine.
Okay. So let's say I come, I read all the books, I attend all the talks, I come to the gym, don't miss it. What happens after that?
So nice question. So in a span of a year, basically every year, now we will celebrate the first Antifragile Temple Day on 4th January 2027, during which we will recognize the students.
Okay.
Right now, the students who are there, just exercising, we refer to them as students.
Okay.
The ones that are there, reading the book, attending my talk, are called Antifragile Student in the Making. And the ones that complete the 10 books for life, attend my talk, and continue to invest in their physical health are called Antifragile Student. So when you finish this 10 books, or let's just say this education program, you will acquire a set of tools that if you choose to apply, you'll change every aspect of your life.
Okay.
And the goal is within the span of 1 year to shape you in a manner that is anti-fragile. Nothing breaks you, and anything that breaks you eventually ends up making you stronger. So there's no blaming, there's full responsibility, and every experience is an opportunity for you to learn and grow from it. Whatever we offer there is very, very practical education. It's not about creating intellectuals.
Okay.
And also what I do not practice or what I haven't practiced in the past or mastered, I do not offer. That is, the filtering process that I have, how I choose the books, how I choose the talks, how I choose the conversations that I choose to have with the students. And it's such a joyful experience for us. 80% of our students are between 16 and 21 years old. Just the perfect time to mold them into anti-fragile students.
Okay. Actually, are you familiar with the term manosphere?
Manosphere, I heard it, but I'm not familiar with it. But I get a drift of where that is going.
Yeah, I think this is like, what at least what I'm understanding is it's like positive masculinity to build that kind of sort of thing. But these days, what the manosphere is really about is there's a growing number of young men who are having no role models. So they go online and then they see the men with, let's say, a good body, and the girls, nice cars. And then they have podcasts like myself also, and then they talk about like, if you want to be an alpha male, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, do that. And then also, it also teaches them like how it makes them a little insecure, it changes their view on women. And they also then, it starts building a habit of, like what you mentioned, fragile minds. They're very easily influenced, easily hurt. And I feel like what you're trying to say is similar in that sphere, in the sphere of manosphere, which is, but in a positive way. But do you feel like there is this growing number of young men which are lacking role models? What do you feel, Acho?
That's a very difficult question to answer. But what I can tell you is the content that you're consuming through any form of screen is shaping the way you filter life. And irrespective to your education level, your ethnicity, your nationality, most people have no idea how impactful, in a negative sense, the content is that you're consuming.
Yes.
It shapes the idea of love, the idea of sex, the idea of success, the idea of growth. So you must be very mindful of what you're consuming.
And Acho, like, I think one other thing which is like toxic masculinity is, I think, men cannot complain. Men have to keep their problems inside. We cannot share. But I think what later we're learning these days is, I think we all need therapy. And I think men being around men talking about problems is good. And I think like places like your place where you can work out, read and share minds is good. So do you have these moments where you talk to your students and say how you're doing, how's your mental health? Are you doing good? Because maybe you're working out to make your body good, but maybe it's also to succumb a wound which is bigger, which you cannot see. Do you feel that way, Achu?
I haven't reached there yet with the students. Right now we're just 5 months old.
Okay.
So it's a gradual process of not only education, but understanding them in a way to earn their trust, and then, other things open up.
Okay. And right now, how's the progress been so far for 5 months?
No, it's been much better than I anticipated. I expected a much harder path for me, but it was really, really good the way the students embraced the books, the space, and the idea behind. And now, we have many students. I don't know whether you noticed the board. We put up a blackboard.
No, I didn't notice that.
Called 10 Books for Life.
Okay.
And we have basically the list of students that have completed a certain list of books. So now, we make it more visible. So the students that are only exercising, they come in the space and they notice that, other students here is reading these books. There must be something to it.
Okay. Speaking of like overcoming adversity and hard things, you just mentioned about what doesn't kill you make you stronger. Actually, in your point of view, your own life, did you have the kind of moment where it was something very difficult to overcome? It was so difficult, but it made you stronger. Do you have that one few moments in your own life?
Yeah, of course.
Can you mind sharing a few?
Let me start right at the root.
Okay.
So when I was 7, I was sent to a British boarding school in Kalimpong, known as Dr. Graham's Homes.
Okay.
There are many notable figures that passed out from my school. And at least this is my story. Not being good in studies or sport was a major hindrance. It was construed by the teacher as laziness. So you got beaten for every little mistake, failing a test, forget to do a certain task, in a certain way or a time. So remember, I'm 7.
Okay.
I don't speak even English. Sent away is far away. For me, it's as good as a different planet. And also, we were underfed, so we were always hungry. Remember, this wasn't a special treatment just directed to me. Huh? That was a blanket treatment for everyone. But I just fell in the category, the bottom, I would say the bottom 10%.
Okay.
So yeah, I would get beaten and then told like, oh, this guy is a waster, lazy guy, will never achieve anything in life. So every night I went to bed when the lights went out in the dormitory about 9 p.m. and I would sit on my bed and I would pray. Remember, we are brought up as Buddhists here, but there every day we go to church. So I pray the exact same words which I'm uttering now. Dear God, please make sure that I get enough food tomorrow and nobody beats me. Mind you, I'm 7. I pray 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10, 11, 12, 13. Finally at 14, around 14, okay, maybe my memory fails me. Around 14, I understand finally which God I was praying to. I realized the God that I was praying to was my 2 hands that was clasped. In words, it's difficult to describe, but experientially, I really understood it with the core of my being. Every cell understood it. It was basically, I understood what I do not do with my 2 hands, God will never offer it to me.
Okay.
And when I truly understood that, it was a freeing experience. And since then, I took life into my own hands. No more praying and wishing and hoping the world will change. Instead, I changed myself. And the first step was through physical change.
And you realized this at a very early age, also?
Yeah, I was lucky.
Wow.
I was lucky. Looking back, understanding this as 14 really made things much, much better for me. But remember, realizing it and putting it into practicing and growing from it is a very, very slow process.
Okay.
So that's my story, and you know what? So at that time, as a kid, I told myself, someday I'll come into power. When I do, then I want to extend my hands to those little kids that are left behind and tell them, there isn't a pace, there isn't a standard. You ask yourself, what do you want to do? And then if you're willing to put in the work, you can achieve anything. And give them that kind of platform where, you have a loving, trusted elder who will guide them without expecting anything in return. And my life has been a walk on that path, which finally led to Antifragile Temple, which is also another drop in the ocean. So that's where I'm at, and that's my journey of anti-fragility.
Okay, so going a little back, so when let's say you're age 14 or so, then so was that the time you decided, okay, I'm going to start working out, I want to be a bodybuilder? When did that journey start actually?
No, I didn't think I'll be a bodybuilder, but I just was attracted to characters like Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Lee, Mike Tyson. And the similarity between all of them, they were very, very physical. Then what little I could see from the senior students in my cottage that I was staying, I just copied them, do the push-ups. I would do, because we were not even allowed to exercise. So when the dormitory lights went out, instead of praying, I would basically get on the floor between the dormitory beds, and then I would do my push-ups. That's how I started, little by little, I understood my body better and better.
So when was the point where you decided, okay, now I want to take this really seriously and see how far I can go with it? And then from there, what was keeping you reminding, okay, keep pushing, it's difficult, but you want to keep pushing and working harder. So what was initially the point where you decided, I want to take it seriously? Then also what kept you going through it?
Mine was always about improving. If I could do 10 push-ups, it was always about doing more. 11. I didn't think about bodybuilding. But sometime while I was at school, I'm not quite sure whether I was 16 or 17, I heard of somebody called Mr. Kalimpong. Mr. Kalimpong, I was like, what's that? And they said, there's this sport called bodybuilding. If you win the contest, then you get Mr. Kalimpong. Then just like that, as a young kid, the idea of Mr. Bhutan conceived into my head. And I thought, that'll be cool to be called Mr. Bhutan. And then that path led me into the physical thing and understanding bodybuilding. But the real turn came when I was in the university in Delhi.
Okay.
I met a guy who was selling supplements, and one day he told me, hey, you just building body is not enough. So you have to build your mind also. I said, what do you mean build your mind? Then he gave me a thick book on nutrition. He said this. And I said, I can't afford to buy it. Can I photocopy it? He said, sure. So I photocopied it, and it led me into another world of theory rather than just practice as well. And then just one step led to another. Eventually, the Bodybuilding Federation started here. And then, then I had the opportunity to finally realizing the title of Mr. Bhutan.
Okay.
But I want to point out, when I thought about Mr. Bhutan, it was more about distinguishing myself. I understood, if I look around the world, around me at that time, in order to be noticed, in order to be heard, you had to be either the prettiest girl or the guy best in sports, or somebody with a lot of money, or success. So as a kid, I saw that. So I said, I have to distinguish myself with something that the world values. And bodybuilding became a path. And it was basically, for me, in my head, I was thinking, not about the medals per se, but to get the share of the mic, so to speak, while I'm here, so that I can be heard. And that's what, since I've got that, I started writing for Kunsel, and now I'm contributing even for the Bhutanese. I started initially writing on just exercise and nutrition, and gradually it moved towards health and happiness.
Okay.
So it's just one gradual step after the other. But what was consistent was always trying to improve myself. If I can do 1 pull-ups, trying to do 2 pull-ups.
Okay.
So just physical performance.
All right. So actually, when you during your peak physical condition, when you're competing in the bodybuilding, what did a normal day look like? How much food were you eating? How hard were you training? How you meal prepping, sleep? So what did a normal day look like during your peak training phase?
So I feel like that is another lifetime now. I feel like it was another person, another chapter. But I'll give you a rough idea. I used to eat an average of 5 to 6 meals, predominantly high protein, 10 hours sleep, and then about 2 hours training.
Okay.
But my training was very different than other bodybuilders, because while bodybuilders train to build muscle, I mostly train to build strength.
Okay.
So my training was very, very hard.
Okay.
Very hardcore, and it was a psychological battle. That's how I understood the idea of the mind as well. Putting the body through so much discipline and hardship opened the doors to my mind, and I used those tools. So I would do, for example, for those listening who I know now weight training is popular, I would do pull-ups with 55 kilograms tied around my waist.
How many reps?
I would do 6 reps.
And how many sets?
My training was always 1 set, all out.
Okay.
It's called high intensity training. The goal is to choose one exercise, like Manchester, and then lift as heavy as you can. I was doing 535 kilograms leg press.
Okay.
I would do tricep extension with dumbbell with 65 kilograms. I would dumbbell curl with 45 kilograms in each hand. So I would do extreme stuffs.
But all 1 set, but then 2 failure.
Yeah, 1 set, but always to fail. It was always, whatever I do, do it thoroughly.
Okay.
Otherwise, don't do it at all. Mine was always go as deep as you can.
Okay. So, but actually, now if you're going for a bodybuilding show, but your training is more based on gaining strength, doesn't it defeat the purpose? Or was it just worked out for you?
No. Predominantly, I worked out for strength. But then you increase the repetition a bit, you basically build muscle. But also when you train for strength, if strength is the priority, your strength will increase, but along with that is inevitable, your muscle will increase. But to what degree, it's limited compared to just pure bodybuilding training.
Okay. So you're saying if the bodybuilding training and the strength training is different?
Yes,
okay,
different.
So can you give us a taste for someone like me who's a layman, maybe someone who doesn't understand, what is the difference?
The difference is basically the type of muscle fibers that you train.
Okay.
While you are training for strength, you train with muscle fibers that are predominantly white.
Okay.
And while you do for bodybuilding, predominantly red.
Okay.
White has a lot of strength, but very little endurance.
Okay.
Red has a mixture of both strength and endurance.
Okay.
Red gives you size, white does not give you size, which means white does not grow much. So you could look like the way you look, And I could look like the way I look, but you could be 2 times stronger than me
Okay.
because of the form of training we do. Because you have prioritized strength, while I have prioritized
Size.
aesthetics and size.
Okay, so what would be an exercise to, let's say, just for aesthetic and size? Because right now you just showed about what it looks like for strength, but what does it look like for?
For example, a bodybuilder will hang on a pull-up bar
Okay.
and pull up and do like 12 reps
Okay.
of body weight.
Okay.
Rest 1 minute, then do another. Rest 1 minute, do another. So they do about 36 reps.
Okay.
A person who's training for pure strength will tie a whole bunch of weights, whatever the maximum he can, and then pull himself or herself up for just 2 to 4 reps. That's like the ideal range to build strength. Then he or she will rest for 5-6 minutes. When it's fully recovered, heart rate is back to normal, you do another set. And then you rest 5-6 minutes, do another set.
Okay.
Over time, 2 very different bodies, 2 very different strength levels as well.
Okay.
And bodybuilder is concerned about aesthetics, so they manage the calorie intake, while a strength athlete is just trying to get strong at all costs. So they will eat whatever they can. And ideally, the more you eat, the more strength you build.
Okay.
Although you will not look pretty, but you will be really, really strong. So that's the difference. And I always prefer to be stronger than look pretty. So.
Okay, but right now also, which is very popular for the fitness industry and also for working out in general, is losing weight and losing fat, right? So what do you recommend for people right now? Let's say they're watching this, I want to lose a couple of weight here and there, because I feel like sometimes you look online like, do this exercise to target fat here, and I feel that also seems like a little bogus. Not you might be knowing better. So what do you think is, from Mr. Bhutan's perspective, a tip for fat loss?
So whenever I offer any tip regarding any subject, I'm thinking in terms of a balance between effectiveness and ability to sustain whatever. I can give you the best tip, but then if it's not possible for you to do or for most people to do, then it is useless. It's a great tool unused is a non-existent tool. So I want to give you a tool that you're most likely to use. So when it comes to weight loss, the simplest first step is to sit as little as possible. If you observe anyone who's not sitting, they are not standing like a soldier. They end up doing something, bend over and sweep the room, or tidy up something, or walk here and there, or scratch their back, or bend over. They will fidget. And all that fidgeting and moving over time accumulates to a lot of calories spent,
Okay.
improve blood flow all over the body, and then eventually it ends up with burning more fat too. That's the first step.
Okay.
Again, when I advise, even professionally when I work with people, I have a saying, earn the right to an upgrade. Don't ask me 10 things and do nothing. Take one thing which you think there's zero chance that you'll fail. Just take that thing that you think, and not I think, that you can apply. Take it, apply it. When you have applied for 1 month, rough timeline, then come back to me. Then you have proven to yourself that you have the ability to take the next step. Because failing in the first step is the greatest obstacle to change. So that's why you need to set yourself up where it's impossible to fail. So make the first step really, really easy. So the goal here is to reduce the amount of sitting you do. So that's the first step. Then the second step becomes to reduce a portion of the carbohydrate foods that you're eating. Because carbohydrates is one of the main reasons our blood sugar level goes up, the extra calories that consume, because carbohydrates are basically an energy source that can be extracted from the fat and protein that we're consuming too. But we cannot build or extract fat and protein from any other source than fat and protein. And those are the essential building blocks for your hormones, for your brains, for your muscles, for your skin. So that's why reducing carbohydrates would be the second step. The first step would be sitting as little as possible. People think, your listeners probably, this is useless. But it's over time, the results that you get. Now, if you want instant results, then you go on to strict nutrition program, go in a very strict exercise program. But I've seen it, and if you do your research, you see, most people who make quick progress
relapse
eventually end up becoming worse than they were before, because they take in too much too soon. And they're just basically, initially, they're running on willpower and motivation.
Okay.
And once both of those are depleted, and which gets depleted very quickly, you have nothing. But I advocate change through building micro habits.
Okay.
And that's one of the books we have at Antifragile Temple that goes into the nitty-gritty of how we build habits that build us or break us.
Is it Atomic Habits?
Yeah, Atomic Habits is
okay.
the one.
Okay, all right. So, Achut, when you were in your peak training phase, I'm sure you had to have a lot of discipline and also maintain everything properly. So, how did you maintain not burning out and losing and relapsing and losing motivation along the way? How did you keep reminding yourself, or did you mess up along the way, just recovered?
No, I never messed up. I never messed up. Once I stepped on this path, I always knew where I was going.
Okay.
The goal was always to be the best built athlete Bhutan ever saw. But of course, the bigger goal was once I earn the respect and visibility in Bhutan, what do I do with it?
Okay.
And that was always to be the best human being and help everyone I can. So that's the part.
So you didn't have any self-doubt or any times like you woke up in the morning like maybe 5 minutes longer, maybe not today I'll train. You never had those thoughts, actually?
Oh no, yeah. Those I had, but I didn't give into it.
Okay. So how do you not give into this? Because it's something I think anyone can relate with. When you're waking, we have something to do, but you want to touch your phone for a little bit longer, 5 more minutes of sleep. So how did you personally get past that?
As an athlete, as a bodybuilder, then it was very simple. I'm always thinking there is somebody I don't know who exists, who wants the same thing that I want, not only within Bhutan, but beyond as well. That was the mindset I had.
Okay.
Is this very time feeling the same thing, but he or she is doing it better than I'm doing. So I cannot slack. And if I do slack and eventually I end up at a competition and I lose, I will regret
okay.
It could be this reason why I failed. Rather, if I did everything that I said I would do, then even if I lose, I know that I gave my very best. So that's how I motivated myself.
Okay, gotcha. Another question is, since I'm not I wouldn't say consider myself a gym bro, but I was a very skinny kid. So when I initially wanted to go to the gym because I want to improve my health, one of my biggest detriment factor was on a student budget for nutrition. So I would do all the research, say, okay, this much protein you need, this much calories you need, this much sleep, but I cannot afford this much protein because either I have to cook it all and I don't have the means to prep and cook consistent level for a long period of time or afford this much food. So on the Bhutanese setting and the Bhutanese mindset, what would you recommend in order to get nutrition-wise for anybody who wants to pick up weight training today?
Who wants to build muscle?
Yes, on a budget.
So the best sources are vegetarian sources of protein then.
Okay.
But you need to always prioritize in your life how high the priority is of investing in your health or in muscle building.
Okay.
And as per that priority, you need to invest your time, your energy, and your resources, including your money. So if you think about just budget and you want to invest, then the vegetarian sources is best.
Okay.
So you have all kinds of dal, black dal, yellow dal, I think green dal. You have kidney beans.
Okay.
You have the chana. These are really, really high sources of vegetable protein. And if you combine it with a little bit of rice, it becomes complete protein. So those are your best sources.
Okay.
But there's a downside to that. There's a lot of chewing going on. There's a lot of high fiber. So people who cannot tolerate high fiber may end up getting gas.
Okay.
So these are the limitations you have there. Because your body needs to work much harder to process all these nutrients from it.
Okay. What about this soya chunks, which is Nutella?
Soya chunks are really helpful. I think many people like to, and it has a sense of meatiness in it.
Yeah, a little
so
bit.
it's quite popular. Yes, that is very high in protein too, because it's basically soybeans. So soybeans are really high in protein as well. These are really, really good sources of cheap protein that you can get.
Okay. And also, actually, I want to ask, I like watching fitness content. So I watched all documentaries like Pumping Iron with Arnold. Then I watched a few fitness, YouTubers and all. And then what I've realized is it's not only the physical, like you mentioned, not only the physical thing, but also the mental warfare. Like when Arnold goes to a tour for a show, he's talking with his competitor. He kind of gives him little verbal jabs here and there, trying to get him off his game. So did you experience that style during your journey? Did you think you also implied a little bit of mental warfare when you're trying to go for competitions?
No, I never did. I never did. I just focused on myself and to improve myself as much as possible. No, I never did that.
But did you see it happen with other people? Was that scene going on?
No. It's not a common thing in bodybuilding.
Okay.
In fact, most people don't know that this is not a true documentary.
Really?
It's a docu-movie.
Oh, it's to add some
Yeah,
little
so
plot masala.
a lot is scripted as well.
Oh, okay.
So Arnold was a very charismatic guy, but not to that point. I mean, they basically wanted to build a hero, and it was him. And that's how they built him up, and they made Lou Ferrigno like a big dumb teddy bear. So that's what. But that's not the truth. That's enacting.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a documentary. Which
No, it's a cool docu-movie though.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
cool, very inspiring.
Yes, Achu. Okay, that time you were mentioning about also sleep much also. So I think the same book you talked about, my sister mentioned, because I think that guy came on one of
he's very, very popular.
Yeah, he came on a podcast. I think I listened to him, and what my sister told me, now I could be wrong, Achuk, you can correct me, is like when we go to sleep, we're trying to rescan our memories of the day or something like that. Like a presentation comes, and then it's during REM sleep, right? REM, and then when we interrupt it, then we ruin our sleep, and that's why we need every day about 7 to 8 hours of optimal sleep nurse. So do you think that's true, or what is your stance on sleep? How much hours do you think is optimal? How much do you think if it's less than that it sounds risky? And what is about sleep? What's your opinion, Nacho?
Science is constantly changing. That's the beauty of science. Not like religion. It's not fixed, written on the stone, and it has to stay forever. That's why it's reliable, because flexible. And flexibility is very important to me. Currently, what we know with the current research in science is for most people, a minimum of 7 hours is required so that you can lead a healthy life.
Okay.
And yes, during your sleep, your brain processes the memories that you have, what you experience during the day, and categorize them. What is unnecessary, because remember, people think there's unlimited space here. No, there is limited. And we are constantly prioritizing. So what it finds useless, it removes. What it finds important, it keeps. And more importantly, it does something very, very important, which is very important to touch upon, is because mental health is, the numbers are increasing in Bhutan as well, anxiety and depression. Basically, when we experience a negative episode during the day, one of the ways it becomes negative is because once I perceive, for example, I fight with you. As I fight with you, you say, hey, you're the worst, guest I've had here. You're disrespectful, you don't know nothing. And then I get hurt and I get upset and I start thinking about it. I shout at you. My body releases hormones like cortisol, adrenaline, that basically, if unused, like if I'm using it like physically, if I fight with you, then I vent that out and fine. But these days, that is not a possibility or considered something civil to do. So what I do is I pent it up. So these hormones that was designed to serve us in a fight or flight state now does us a disservice, because we live in a civil environment where, violence is basically considered, as it should, something that we shouldn't pursue. So this hangs out in our system and poisons our body. It takes days to weeks to remove it from. And during that time, your heart rate may be elevated, your blood pressure will be slightly higher, your you'll be negatively inclined. You'll have very negative
mood swings,
perceptions.
Okay.
Because there's a certain aspect of the emotional brain that will be triggered and highly active. So you go through all these processes.
Okay.
And now, when you go to bed after this, and you don't have sufficient sleep, your body cannot do what it does while you sleep. So when it goes to sleep, it goes through those emotionally charged memories that you have. But the cool thing that happens is when you sleep at that time, in your dream, you go through these memories that you experience, but because of the way our biological rhythm is set inside, even though you experience these memories at that time, your body does not release all these hormones.
Okay.
So when you do not release all these hormones, you're able to look at the same memory from a distance with a much more calmer and broad mind. Hence, you can see, and to your advantage, script it in a way that benefits you. So that's basically emotional healing happens during that part of sleep, what you call REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. Basically, when your eyes are darting various directions, up and down, left to right. So that thing happens during sleep. And that is not complete until unless you have a sufficient duration. So that's why 7 to 8 hours is the minimum. So many cool, unknown things like this happen. And we wonder, right? Simple stuff like that. So, for example, if somebody is anxious and depressed and they don't sleep enough, you go into the vicious cycle of making it worse and worse. So sleep becomes one of the lowest non-invasive way to improve your mental health.
Okay. Speaking of mental health, I think this is something I have trouble with is I procrastinate too much. Let's say I have some work to do, but now instead of thinking about the work which is giving me discomfort, I'll choose to go on my phone and just swipe, because then it's easier not to think about it, distract myself. And then what I've researched is that is also called task paralysis, because you want to do something, but you don't want to do it, and now you're procrastinating to the point of when you cannot move. Can you relate to that, Achu? And then what do you think is a solution for that? Like, if you can give me something to do with.
We human beings procrastinate everything that does not have an immediate consequences.
Okay.
Just think about life. Anything that can be postponed, you'll postpone.
Yes.
And that's not your fault. That's what I'm trying to teach the students too. We learn about the human mind and body. It's your body. It has evolved to survive first and foremost. And the way we survived as animals, as hunter-gatherers, is basically to conserve energy. To do any work is to spend energy. And this body does not want to spend energy. That's why we become fat, is to honor our safety. So in case when you were living in the wilderness, when food was not timed and available widely as it is now, we had to rely on saving every calorie, because the next few days or even weeks could be days with no food at all, and that's how we survive. So that's why it's the laziness. It's the lazy. So our body and mind, when you say mind, brain, body, organs, all have evolved to be lazy. So that's why anything that does not have an immediate consequence, you will postpone. That's the first step to realize.
Okay.
It's not you, it's your biology.
Okay. Fine.
After that, you got to basically ask yourself, why you do what you're doing. If you truly know why you're doing what you're doing, there will be spring in your steps for everything you try to do. And also the other thing that people get task paralysis is they think too much. For example, if my dream is to scale Mount Everest, I'm thinking, I need so much sponsorship, then I need to do so much training, then, I need so much for the gear, and I need a special coach, and there's like 10,000 steps between now and scaling Mount Everest. You have to reduce it to the absolute minimum, like I said earlier, to make it so small that it's impossible to fail. So you want to do a fraction of the task that is required, but the task that is most important, the most doable. Balance between the two, and do the first step. Because once you get doing, anything task, once you start little by little, there's a snowball effect that makes it easier, and you go deeper and deeper into it too. The starting part is the difficult part. And that's, if you know your why, you'll be able to do, and if you know your first step that is within your capability at the moment, you can do, you take the first step. That's how you break procrastination.
Okay. So I have a belief, and maybe you agree or not, I think Bhutanese, because the way we are brought up and because of our services and our community, we're innately lazy, but not it's not a permanent situation. I think if you give in a situation like Achu mentioned, I think we become more proactive, become more hardworking. But innately we're lazy. So why do you think we are that way? And if you do agree?
I wouldn't say innately lazy. That means you're born with that quality.
Mm-hmm.
We're all born with that quality.
Okay.
But we're culturally lazy.
Okay.
And one clear distinction is because there's always someone to rescue us.
Mm.
If you don't have money, borrow from your neighbor, borrow from uncle, auntie. If you get in trouble, ask someone to help you out. But in abroad, that's not how it works. No matter how wealthy your brother is, he will not give you a penny. You figure it out yourself. That's why there's a direct accountability in with those culture. When I say is, I speak specifically for what I have experienced, which is basically Europe. So there is an immediate consequence. So very early on, when you're just forming your ideas of life, you learn something called accountability. Yeah, you have the free to do what you want, but then the consequences also you must face. Don't come running to uncle and auntie. But here there's uncle, auntie, cousin, everyone. So that makes us very, very lazy. So we, again, the same thing going back. We postpone as much as we can and as much the world around us will tolerate. And they will not.
Okay.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Like, statistically speaking, globally, 80% of the people who do what they do, they don't like the job.
Okay.
Yet, 5 days a week, 9 to 5 on average, they show up to the work. Why do you think they show up?
Money.
Okay, yeah, it is money, but there's one more thing. What's the other reason? Can you guess?
I don't know. Creatures of habit. You need routines.
No. It's because there's immediate consequences.
If you don't show up.
Yeah, you don't show up, they'll
no
call, hey, how come you're not coming? You do that 2-3 times, you get fired. But now I'll give you the polar opposite. When it comes to health, when does the bill come due? 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So we keep postponing.
Delayed, okay.
Tanko thu, cha thu, jangsa, excess machab. That's what it's all about, accountability.
Okay.
As long as there is no immediate consequences of what you're doing, we as humans are designed to postpone it. So the only way we overcome that is to know why you exist in this life. Find your purpose in life. And that becomes the driving force that basically transcends laziness. And then, of course, some sensibility in terms of atomic habits, taking the first tiny step, that first tiny victory that gives you confidence and opens new doors. For example, we're sitting here. If I try to perceive the world from here, there's only so much visibility I have. But if I take 20 steps out of this building, the horizon changes. And with that, whole new world is exposed to me. Maybe somebody driving me down there will say, oh, wow, this guy is such a good-looking guy. Maybe he should be offered a movie. Give me an example. So it's about taking that step. Wherever you are, you have a limited vision. Take the smallest step that you can at that moment. And then life will open its doors to you. But staying where you are and complaining will not change the world, and especially not scrolling.
Okay, then Achudharam, you spoke about a little bit about mental health, about anxiety and depression. Right now, these kind of, it sounds easy, but also hard to do, the steps you said. But let's say someone's really in the hole, okay, they're out of shape, they have a lot of insecurity about themselves, and they're not confident. But now they hear what you're saying. They're saying, yeah, it make that easy step, try to instill that discipline, confidence. But it's difficult for them. So, like, how do you overcome that hurdle when you're already in such a low state of mind? Let's go more detail. Give me an example. Give me an example. John, call him John. Okay, let's call him, Bhutanese name, let's call him Dorji. Dorji is 26 years old. He's fat. He stays home and watches anime, doesn't go out, eats junk, scrolls, and he listens to Saipa sometimes. And then for some reason he's listening now and he says, I've always seen this guy on TikTok with Jim getting girls, and I'll never get a girl because I think I look like shit, but I'm fat and I don't want the motivation to do something. But now I've heard Mr. Bhutan say this is the way, but I still cannot do it. Now how do you get out of that hole?
So the first step to change that, I'm on the process of improving, perfecting, and sharing is what I call environmental design.
Okay.
For example, why do you like the food that you like right now? Why do you dress the way you dress right now? Why have you chosen to speak English and Zonka? And if you observe it, you were born almost an empty can. And your parents and the environment around you, your friends, your teachers, your city, your country, filled in it way before you realized, in it all the ingredients that are going to shape you for the rest of your life. If you understand this basic truth, then you will understand the power of your environment. Okay, Dorji has been isolating himself, okay, in his house. The easiest step is to reach out to friends or family members that have the qualities that he's trying to acquire. Nothing he has to do. Just make the phone call and hang out with them. You are not, don't change your diet, nothing. We human beings, again,
Make it difficult because of so many
is
steps.
designed to mirror the people and community around us.
Okay.
Now, when I say mirror, even at a cellular level, there are nerve cells dedicated specifically to mirroring. Right now, I'm nodding, you're nodding. You think you're nodding because you want to nod. I'm thinking I want to nod, but actually we're mirroring each other.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so this is what we do. And the people around us, those that we see most frequently, those that we love and love us, are the ones that make the most influence on us. And we are always trying to be in the good books of them. So unconscious, this is always happening. So effortlessly, your biology will start changing to honor, to fit into the current audience we are. So Dorji's first step, if I'm Dorji, my first step would be to reach out to a friend or to a family member that I value,
Okay.
that has the quality that, and just hang out. That's the first.
Okay.
Statistically, again, I have to give numbers because we're very bad in thinking in numbers. We think emotionally, and that is dangerous. Gives us very tunnel vision. You don't see anything else. We roughly laugh 40% more when we are with somebody else than by ourselves. And every time you laugh, your biology changes. Whether you do fake laugh or not, when you do that, all biochemically changes. And that changes the way you experience the world. Suddenly, from negativity, you become hyper-positivity, where everything is possible. You know, that's what laughter does.
Okay.
And we laugh roughly 40% more when we're with others.
Okay.
So this is the power of your environment. That's why I built Antifragile Temple, to create that environment that when they come in, every tool, every person is basically directing them towards self-improvement and service.
Okay.
So that's the power of environment. So you must always ask yourself, the way you are right now, you are because of the environment you're in. Do you have anybody in Australia?
Yeah, I have so many friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll see. These folks that you were here, they were a certain way throughout. And now that they're going to a completely different environment, a lot of things, including sometimes their whole personality will change. Not because they tried, I'm going to seek change, now I'm going to change. But just because they were transported from Thimphu to Brisbane. Just doing that, all the stimulus changes, the language stimulus changes, the programs that you're exposed to changes, your friends changes, your nature of your job changes. Most people change near that experience. Cancer, divorce, birth of a child, changing the country. Very few people ever realize, okay, I am the way I am right now because of so and so. Now I'm going to change. Nobody changes. Very rarely somebody changes like that. And the others, most are forced by the environment. And that is the power of environment. And if you realize that, truly realize that, then you can shape your environment to basically achieve all the goals you have.
Okay, sure. I never thought about that way, but it's true because I also, when I lived abroad, I had to shift everything because
Exactly.
if I did the same things I did here over there, I would not be able to survive.
Exactly.
Yeah, so shifting the environment. That's a really nice way of putting it.
And especially for a laid-back citizens of Bhutan, in some way, Australia is a very good training ground.
Yes.
There's no mercy there.
Yeah.
Once you're employed, there's certain criteria you have to do.
Yeah.
Headache, no one's coming to rescue you. You got to do.
No uncle, no aunties.
Yeah, no uncle, no aunties. And then, there is, you don't have your native language, your native food, the native mindset. So you're put in a very uncomfortable situation.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of discomfort.
Yeah.
The only
Forces
way
to grow.
for change is you have to find value in discomfort. And just taking a kid from Thimphu and shifting them to Australia or to New York does the magic. Don't need to do anything. They will change. We don't know how they will change, but they will change.
Might change for worse also. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just talking about just pure change.
Yes,
Good or
yeah.
bad, but you
Yes,
will change
yes.
once you're put into a new environment.
Sure,
The only way you change in your honor is when you understand the power of your environment and then make special effort.
Okay, Acha. Okay, Acha, I wanted to ask this question. So I have this theory. Now you can agree or disagree. It's like, I think it works with people with very good habits and good discipline, like Acho, is that I feel like, since I'm a little spiritual, I follow, I look at like Buddha, which is also on your logo. So when Buddha first wanted to look for the truth, he went extreme mode, didn't eat even rice, so he sprayed everywhere in dark corners with no shelter. And then the reason when he found the truth is when he found the middle path. So right now, I feel like in one way, like if you want to be really good at something, you need to be disciplined, you need to be obsessed. I feel like that. But then again, also, if you want to live a balanced life, you need to lay back. So I feel like even if you're waking up on time, exercising, doing your job, sleeping on time, I feel like as a human being, in order not to go insane, we need one bad habit, one vice, one vice. So let's say, Acho, you wake up on time, you help the kids, you work out, you're a good member to your family. But just so you can let off the ease, let's say you play video games. You play video games 6 hours a day. That's the only bad habit. So just like that, do you think one person should have one bad habit? And if it is, what is your bad habit, Acho? What do you think is
I don't think so. Anyone should go looking for a bad habit.
Okay, but I think you should accept one bad habit. Recognize yourself. Let's say you have this many bad habits. And you say, okay, I cannot do all, so I'll pick one.
So Buddha's middle path, right? You need to find your middle path. So what is the middle path? Middle path is a balance that you can sustain. What is the balance you can sustain? And that depends from individual to individual. So let's just talk about nutrition. When it comes to nutrition, I'm always educating my kids. I say, you shoot for perfection, inevitable. No matter how strong you are, you will break. So rather, I prefer what I call the 90-10 principle.
Okay.
90% of the time eat healthy food, and 10% eat unhealthy, just go for pleasure. And you create a rough balance between, overall health and living a life that you think is fulfilling. So you have to find your own balance.
Okay. So what is Acho's vice?
Currently, I would say probably maybe watching movies.
Okay.
And then I'm completely against any form of violence, unless it is to truly save your life or save someone else's life. And somehow I like watching action movies. Okay, to be really honest. So what I do is I earn the right to watch the movie. So I do all the tasks that I have maybe postponing.
Okay.
Only when I fulfill them, then I say, okay, now I can watch a movie. So that's how I do it.
Delayed gratification, is that called?
Yeah. That's another way to put spring in your steps as well. You want to do a task, but you want to basically trick yourself into psychologically. Say, okay, that's something that's not so good for you, but if you want that, the only way to get there is through this. And then there's the motivation and then there's high too. And that also, when you give yourself a candy at the end, that pleasure reinforces your behavior. It's one way we memorize our experiences in life, making it very rewarding, emotionally or physiologically. Then that basically, the hormones that you release when you have pleasure, which is basically dopamine, is what seals those memories and tells you, okay, you get high on this, and now you know. That means high. So the next time you have, then you're much more likely to do the task because at the end there's reward. So that's another way of hacking yourself as well. Figure out a way to always treat yourself after doing something really, really hard or something that you do not enjoy, but it is necessary for the goal that you have set for your life.
I did that yesterday, Saturday weekend went out, so the Sunday went out, so woke up with very lazy mentality. So I said, I just want to sit back and watch some movie or something. But I said, no. I'm doing this all the time. It makes me feel so shitty by the end of the day. So I said, now if I want to watch a movie, Simple thing. Wake up, take a shower, eat your supplement, and then clean your room, then you can watch a movie. So I forced myself. Didn't want to do it. I said, right now I'm feeling hot. I'll do a cold shower. I'll even force myself to do more uncomfortable things. Finally did it. Remember, once I watched the movie, I was like, wait, feels like I deserve it. I worked for it, Zunchi. I think that kind of hack and trick works. But on an unrelated note, I just remembered one thing. So right now you said you reward yourself like with the action movie. And then I think what bodybuilders and also people who work out a lot is they discipline their food. So they have a cheat meal. So
Exactly.
What does your cheat meal look like, Achu?
So when I'm competing, I become somebody else when it comes to food. You know, as I said, we are designed to survive.
No.
And forcefully underfeeding yourself or restricting your food in the abundance of food is something very, very difficult to do. So I'm not a sweet person.
Okay.
But once I get into contest shape and as the body fat becomes less and less in my body,
Craving sugar.
yeah, I crave sugar. I can smell even the sugar in the rice.
Wow.
Anyone who competes, they will tell you this is
Okay.
true. You can smell the sugar and rice. In fact, even in your mouth, if you put, it tastes like candy.
Oh.
Because that's how much we are distant ourselves.
Okay.
It's almost like re-acclimatizing your taste buds in a very, very extreme manner.
Okay.
So yeah, so the whole week I would train and stick to my diet, just imagining food. Sometimes I would even dream about food. So I like Nepalese food a lot. So my cheat meal, if I could choose, would be like kinema. It'd be mutton curry or pork curry, and then roti. And then after that, I will go to the nearest pastry shop and buy every pastry I can.
Everything.
Yeah, every pastry. Because every time I pass by, while I was competing, I would pass by. I think, oh, that one. Just making a note of it, I take. And then, it's funny, it's bringing back memories that because I feel like that's the past life and rarely talk about. You know, I like to talk about the present, or anticipate the future and work towards the future. That's the spiritual path of walking. So I would eat so much because the mind is so greedy, but the body can only take so much. I would have food till here. I'm not exaggerating. Then I would put 5 pillows. Then I would sleep like that. So as I'm sleeping, I know it's digesting, right? Suck. I'll take on the second pillow. Suck, third pillow. And that's how I get to the morning. So that's extreme cheat meal.
Okay. So how much pastries do you think you've eaten like one of those big cheat meals? Like how many do you think?
Oh yeah, I would be greedy. I would take the big box you have. So after eating my roti, meat and kinema, I would say between 5 and 10 pastries. Yeah.
Okay. Nothing too crazy about it.
Oh no, it's a lot.
Okay,
I mean,
so
combined, because no, I would have first. My stomach would be
Full.
filled with the salty food first, and then on a filled stomach, I would put those in.
Okay. All right then. Okay, then huge meal. Both then. But then probably the sleep must be terrible then.
Uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. But it's worth it because if I don't do that,
it's a mental thing. No.
then the next morning I get up like, I should have had one more eclairs.
No.
That kind of. Then you can't focus on what you need to do. But if you had enough, the next day you're really guilty and satisfied. Then you want to really work harder. So yeah, that was the rewarding tactic that we use when you're bodybuilding. But also it's beyond rewarding also. It's also about reigniting your metabolic rate. As I said, our body is designed to survive. So when it doesn't get enough food, it slows its metabolic rate. Cut down expenses like companies do when the going gets tough. Just like that, the body does that. So when you suddenly flood it with so much, then suddenly start spending more. So that you get to the next phase of your muscularity. So that was basically reward and science as well in terms of biology.
Okay. Actually, one thing I've also noticed about, at least in the bodybuilding industry, is people deal with body dysmorphia. So have you ever experienced that? And,
yeah, of course.
And then how do you think, what do you think people should be mindful of and how do you overcome it?
If you truly want to be a champion, at least I can only speak for bodybuilding, but I think it's very similar with other sports too. You create an environment that is conducive to making you the best bodybuilder possible. It's like going to a different planet and you have completely different rules of game there. So you basically lead a very isolated life. I always felt I was leading a life of a monk, but while to a naked eye looking completely opposite than a monk, right? was feeding meat and this and that and all this stuff, enjoying life. But yeah, it was a lot of sacrifice and discipline. So you basically live in your own cave and you get a very distorted picture of the world. So, for example, I would see a guy, for example, I would see you, gym or not, I'll see skinny arms, skinnier legs, can't even do 2 pull-ups, much better than him. I would have that experience.
Okay.
Then I would go in the gym, I would look at the biggest guy, how much is he lifting? 100 kg, I do 150. You know, so and you never feel you're strong enough, you never feel you're lean enough, because you are always trying to get better, and you're always looking at the other guy who's better, who's stronger than you. So yeah, you get a very distorted picture of life. That's one of the first things I did after I concluded with bodybuilding, is basically go to the other pole opposite. For 5 years straight, I ate just 1 meal a day.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't do weight training, and to see whether my center, the real me, can still be as confident and happy in the absence of everything that I've identified with. Mr. Bhutan, the one has bigger arms than him. Did you see his back? Did you see legs? Oh, he's so strong. Can do something. I had to let go all of that.
Okay, nice. And were you able to?
And your friend, Naotenzi, was depressed when he saw me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, what? Because the people think it's like somebody becoming a millionaire
And losing all the money.
not losing, willingly giving it away.
Oh, willingly.
Just to prove to himself
It didn't matter.
that first it didn't matter, and second, if I want, I can make it. So that was the journey on. So 5 years I did that and let go
Nice. Achha.
all of that. And just now, once I've inaugurated the Antifragile Temple, looking at the children inspired me to, build a little muscle and strength so that I can personally hang with the kids. So they don't think, oh, this guy's from yesterday. But rather, he still has it. And they can connect with me. And henceforth, after that, I can build a part to their mind and all the other, tools that I'm trying to offer to them at Antifragile Temple.
Okay. Because I think body dysmorphia is also everything you explained, but also like I think what I've seen is like these big guys, they go in the mirror, they're flexing, and in their head they're like, I'm so small.
Yeah.
I'm so small.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that happens. And then how actually I can understand how you can say like, okay, it doesn't matter, let it go. Because I think you will have so much attachment, you put so much hard work and time and years into it. So how does that switch go? Like, okay, now. And was it?
But that's the Buddhist in me. That's the Buddhist in me. Even while I was competing, I did it once. I told myself, how about if 6 months I forbid myself completely? It's just a test I want to conduct myself. Because I loved who I was, so cool. Always a jacked guy, cool, girls like it, guys like it even more. And it's admired, a quality that's admired, little by little. I see now, muscle is in vogue. Even women are so muscular now, they love it.
Yeah.
So, that was it. It was part of my identity. It was the way I distinguish myself. I'm better than you. It's kind of, so I thought to myself, can I still be the nice guy I think I am if I let this go? So for 6 months, I forbid myself to eat anything remotely that resembles a bodybuilder's food and then not train at all. This was even when I was competing, I did that once. And then I was very comforted knowing that I was able to thrive even in the absence of not doing anything that is, part of my identity. And that's the Buddhist in me.
Okay, sure.
The practitioner in me. It's about embracing and enjoying everything that you have, but without holding on to it.
Okay.
When it is time for it to go, you let it go. Instead, we had a great time. I learned a lot from it, and now I let you go because I know, in order to welcome something new into my life, I must create space, and that's how I let it go. So,
all right, Achha.
very, very fulfilling journey for me.
Nice, Achha. So this Buddhist in you and this little spiritual mindset of how you're trying to make the mind strong, was it instilled at a younger age, or did it come when you're a little older? Achha? And was there an event which
As I said,
okay,
when we are
because
born,
of this-
we are an empty can. But then I didn't know, and now I know because most of my free time is invested into understanding our bodies and our minds and the environment that we inhabit. That's the core of my education with the students. So mine was born to a very, very loving mother, who was very, very religious, praying all the time. But for me, it was not the prayers that shaped me, but it was the selfless love that she extended. So compared to others, we were living well off, living in Thimphu, while our village is from Paro. So anyone from Paro came to my mom's house, and then there she basically opened her heart to them, fed them. As a kid, I was noticing all this. Fed them, gave them money, get them clothes, supported whatever little transaction they were doing, whether to sell their fresh produce or some goods that they have walked and got from the border of China. So, or even during Nyekor, every Nyekor she would take villages that are either too poor to go to Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, Pema, all the popular Buddhist destination. Either they're too poor, they cannot afford, or physically they're incapable because of age. My mother would take all of them.
Okay.
There were even times that my mother would bathe them, wash them, feed them, and those are old school traveling. My mother would carry everything from oil and chili and cheese and rice and everything, so it's from scratch, not like cool is now in the hotel and we order. So all this, and hard, cheap trains, cheap buses, we would go through. So all these experiences really shaped me. The idea of loving someone beyond your family. Like Einstein says, you want to increase the circumference of what you call family. That's what that has inspired me. So for me, when I say Buddhism, it's not the rituals. I do almost zero rituals. It's about how I translate the rituals and the most basic understanding of Buddhism into my day-to-day life. And a simple way to interpret that is extend who I call my family. Make it wider and wider and wider and wider. And then offer every bit of myself without breaking myself. Because if I break, then there's no more production. You never kill the hen that gives the golden eggs. So you must always nurture the golden hen. So that is my law of giving.
Okay.
As long as I don't break, I continue. So yeah, my mother inspired that aspect and filled me up, so to speak, with that, and that has always stayed with me.
Okay. Then actually, speaking of family, I know your family also in Europe, So how did that part of your life, because we talked about you staying in Bhutan, going to India, studying. So how did you end up in Europe?
So when I finished my studies in Delhi, then I came back. At the same time, I met my wife here.
Okay.
She was working for the United Nations, UNDP then.
Okay.
That's how I met her.
Okay.
And the only way to nurture that relationship
Was if you went to Europe.
if I went with her.
Okay.
And then I had no standards. I was never attached to anything because I was sent to such an early age to boarding school. I never attached myself to Bhutan, never attached myself to India. So it was very easy for me to move. But the journey of moving to various countries and then eventually traveling to various countries really opened the world to me. I truly understood. For example, when we studied geography at school, it was just Australia here, Japan there, Canada there. It was just an idea, and we would memorize. Memorize. But now I have the privilege to associate each country with a human being that I personally know.
Okay.
And that changes the way you experience life. It's not an idea, but it's an experience.
Okay.
So if tomorrow Australia is bombed, you can really relate what they feel there. Rather than, most of us just watching news and saying that. But I have had the privilege to travel, and that has happened thanks to my wife, because she took me beyond Bhutan, which I never chose. Again, as a Buddhist, what you cannot change, you embrace fully. And that's what I did. And in the process of that, I became a father, I traveled to so many places, worked with so many people that I'm privileged with, made good friends. And that has really, really opened my mind. And that's the other stage of my mental evolution. Literally, experientially, consider myself a global citizen. Not a Bhutanese, not a Swiss, not a Finn, not a French. At the highest level, which is a global citizen. That's how we unite ourselves and minimize the probabilities of friction between us.
Okay. So, what do you think is the outlook you had or a lesson you learned before you traveled to all these countries, and now that you have, what do you think is outlook which has changed, or important lesson in life that you got throughout this?
Like all of us, I think even you will probably relate to it. The way we were brought up, like I was brought up in the mid-80s and 90s, we do look at light-skinned people and say, wow, these guys are much more richer than us, much more smarter than us, much more privileged than us. Basically, we put them on a pedestal, so to speak. And for me to travel to all these countries and truly realize and experience with them that they're very much like us. The only thing is the infrastructure that they have and the salaries that is. It was a very freeing sensation. Otherwise, I had the inferiority complex that these guys are better in whatever. Whether it's exercise, whether it's nutrition, or whether it's sports, or understanding of the world, because they're more traveled and this and that. So that was something that I experienced, to really know that at the end of the day, we are all equals. And that is very, very freeing. So now when I see another person, black, brown, or yellow, my brain and mind just doesn't filter the color. Just doesn't see the color. I don't even ask them their profession and their nationality. I just relate to them as a human being. So it has given me the freedom. I don't come with a preconceived notion of that person, which then limits my ability to communicate and understand them, because I have already a certain filtering process. But now it's a freeing. In fact, I sometimes think I have white skin, because I feel like so free just doing anything that I feel like with whoever I'm around, I feel like I'm them.
But yeah, inferiority complex, I never really thought about it. I think I personally don't feel like that, but I think I've seen people who behave, and I can now, when you're mentioning it, I feel like some white guy comes in here, and if he says something like cool about whatever, if the same Bhutanese guy came and said it, we wouldn't give a shit. But just because he's white, he said it. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That does happen.
I think it's like it's embedded in our thinking process.
And that's why education through travel and experience is so powerful. You really, really good. The only way to truly understand others is to basically get into their shoes. And how you get into the shoes is not by going and traveling, but rather living in the country, eating their food, earning money on their soil, speaking the language, and spending time with the natives. That is the only way. Most people think, I've traveled 2 weeks to Australia, I understand. No, you don't. You don't. You have to do exactly basically what they do. You have to mirror them. That's the only way you understand. And I've had the privilege to mirror so many people. And that's a lot of growth here. A lot of tolerance, a lot of understanding, a lot of forgiveness is grown out of that. As long as you're not able to, you do not experience someone else's life, you can never show true sympathy and empathy, which are Buddhist qualities. Just by saying with your lip service, it does not work. You have to really experience that, and that's the only way.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, on unserious note, I'll ask you a little lighthearted question, okay? That we mentioned action movies, and in our podcast with our guests, we like to talk about movies because we're all movie fans, eh? So what do you think is your top 4 favorite films in your life?
Of all time?
All time.
I like The Godfather.
Okay, which one? Part 1, 2, 3?
The part 1.
Part 1, okay.
Recently I watched with my daughter also when she was 17, now she's 18, so that's really...
Quite a serious movie to watch with a daughter.
Yeah, but she loved it.
Okay, it's a great movie.
Except the violent part.
It's very violent. Very violent.
I really like that. Which are the movies? Legends of the Fall, I like that. Romantic movie.
Okay.
And then... Forrest Gump.
Okay, really Forrest Gump. I really love Forrest Gump.
I really like Forrest Gump.
I really love Forrest Gump.
It's really cool. Those are the ones that come to mind.
No, one more action movie. Yeah. Pick one action movie since you mentioned action movie.
Action movie. I think Rambo 1.
Okay, First Blood.
Yeah, First Blood.
Okay.
Yeah, First Blood.
Watching that movie, as a kid and watching it as an adult is so different now.
Exactly. What you saw
Because,
then.
yeah, because when I was a kid, I was like, oh, cool guy, machine gun fighting this town.
Exactly.
Later on, you find this guy's having post-traumatic stress.
Exactly.
And he's in such,
Exactly.
there's society, there's no spot for me here. It's such a deep movie.
And even as an actor, to make a movie like The Acting at a time what America was going through, I think it was the Vietnam War time.
Yeah.
It's a very big gamble and risk to take.
Yeah.
And that's why it's the timing of the movie. And like you said, as physical and violent as it is, the battle is actually inside.
Yeah.
And I had the exact same experience. I never had this discussion with that exact same experience. Then I was just like, oh, cool guy, strong, he's bashing everyone up, what physique he has. But then deeper meaning is so deep. Yeah, so yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, I'm happy you suggested the action. I wouldn't have said it.
Yeah. But even Sly Stallone and Arnold both, I think as a human beings, they're good idols also, because Sly also, he was a very dedicated filmmaker. He wanted to make it in the industry, but no one gave him a shit, and he had to do many odd jobs, but he kept being resilient. I remember when he made Rocky, the only reason he agreed is he won't get money, but he has to star in it. And I think he really bet on himself, and it's a great story. And Arnold also, a man with the last name which no one could have pronounced, from Australia, becoming a worldwide phenomenon. And he has such great quotes and one-liners. He says, "You cannot climb the ladder of success with hands in your pockets." I love his lines, He always motivates me. So I think these are like, forget about bodybuilding.
Sleep faster.
I never,
sleep faster.
I didn't hear that one. But I think they're really great role models of, to be a good human being also. Like, I think Sly Stallone also is father of daughters. I see him in podcasts. He's a very empathetic man, but he's so strong. And I think also in like Rambo 2, people consider that the best physique of all time. Actually, what do you think is the best physique of all time in your eyes, as you being a bodybuilder?
In the movie?
Anywhere, like whether it be a bodybuilder or a movie, or like, what do you think is in your like top physique you look up to?
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Okay, you can name a few. Actually.
When I was a kid, I liked Van Damme.
Oh yeah, Van Damme.
I thought he was really cool.
Yeah.
Van Damme was cool. Arnold, as a bodybuilder, I thought he was cool. But I think Rambo, but later, I think the part 3 or 4, the physique that he has there, the one where he's, I think, Afghanistan.
Okay.
Was that in Afghanistan?
I'm not sure which one it was. Okay.
So I think that one,
I think,
the physique, with the whole bullets around his chest. He's really ripped. He has scars all over.
Yes.
He has band. I think that rock physique, I think that was one of the pictures I had in my school diary.
Okay.
So it made a big impression on me,
Okay. All right. We have this ritual which you do. So maybe actually you can do also is, so we got these cards recently from our guest. So it's Bhutanese oracle cards.
Okay.
So imagine you're going to a hagang and we're doing show. So basically you ask the universe a question, and then you pick a card, and then that'll be the answer to that question. So actually, if you don't mind, you can just hold the cards, shuffle, and ask the universe any question, and you can share it with us if you want. Otherwise, you don't have to. But
I'm open book. So
okay, it's simple.
So I ask the universe a question.
Okay, what is
and
it?
one of these cards will answer.
Yeah, but then what is the question?
The question is, will Antifragile Temple fulfill its life mission of building, contributing citizens of this planet?
Okay, so just shuffle it once more time.
One more time.
One more time,
okay.
And just pick one card, any card.
Okay, I'll pick on top.
Okay. Okay, pick one.
Good.
Let's see. What does it say?
I think it answers as well. It says abundance. So I think abundantly Antifragile Temple will fulfill its mission. 8. Oh, you have to interpret it through that. Okay,
there's interpretation also. So as you can read it yourself. It starts from here and here. You can read it out loud.
Open your heart to the infinite treasures of the universe. Losing that, the dragon's blessing brings boundless... sorry. Knowing that the dragon's blessing brings boundless prosperity and the fulfillment of your deepest desires.
Okay, the last paragraph.
This symbol represents an endless source of spiritual and material wealth, signifying long life, prosperity, and the fulfillment of wishes. It promotes personal growth by encouraging your receptivity to the abundance that creates the manifestation of your sincerest prayers. So I think it pretty much is, explanation of what I just said.
Okay, then it sounds good. Hopeful
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Achu. All right, Achu, we can keep talking. Since we're on the note of building mental strength and perseverance, I think 2 issues I've noticed, at least in young men these days in Bhutan, also all around, is drug addiction and which is called right now the male loneliness epidemic. So, Achu, what do you think? Let's say if someone right now, which I think vast majority of men are going through, young men, is they're very lonely. They're also afraid to talk to women, also afraid to put themselves out there, and it breeds bad health habits and also thoughts. Another one is drug addiction. I think a lot of people, young boys and girls, are getting easily into pills and all sorts of opioids. So, what would you say to someone who's maybe saying, okay, now we'll give a new name, Sonam and Penjo. The one is is dealing with a lot of loneliness, and one is dealing with a lot of drug addiction. How do you dig yourself out of that hole? What would you say? Do you think you have maybe some words of encouragement to give if anyone's listening and they're going through that?
Mm-hmm. Addiction is basically you seeking out immediate pleasures. And when you constantly lead a life of comfort, take for example food. You eat food, the first bite, really tasty, right? Especially when you're hungry. With every bite, the pleasure, decreases. There's what you call, in economics, point of diminishing returns.
Okay.
And that becomes less and less. Eventually, you feel nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Life is very much the same too. When you have a very comfortable life, the same comfort that gives you, say, pleasure on a scale of 100, over time, it gets closer to 0, the longer you stretch it. And the key to experiencing consistent periodic pleasure, so you feel fulfilled in your life, is to willingly make yourself uncomfortable. Let's just say, for example, you don't appreciate making love to your girlfriend.
Okay.
You're always checking out somebody else. Oh, such a hot chick. Oh, look at this guy. He's so lucky. His wife is so pretty. While the other men are doing that to your girlfriend, but you just don't appreciate because you have gone beyond the point of diminishing return to appreciate her.
Okay.
Because she's so easily available to you, because you have been with us for so long. You know, you have acclimatized. Again, this is a biological thing that happens.
Okay.
So, you want to counter that? Then you forbid yourself for the next 3 months, I shall
not touch my wife.
Not touch my wife or my girlfriend. Not touch, no matter what.
Okay.
Rule is no touching.
Okay.
Then see how it nourishes your relationship. Suddenly your appreciation you'll see your feet libido, wow, all turned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Suddenly you see her changing coming out from the toilet, just wrapped in the towel. You're like, wow, this kind of stuff. So it's basically re-acclimatizing your taste buds.
Okay, interesting.
And that's what. So because human body is seeking pleasure, that's how we are designed. It doesn't matter where the pleasure comes from, but it's easier to take it from substance rather than all these kind of things.
Okay.
Cold shower is the same thing. Do cold shower during the winter. Do cold shower. The very moment you come out of it, the appreciation you have, just not to be in the shower, it's another high that you get.
Okay.
Same thing with food. If you see that you're not appreciating food, just deprive yourself of the food. So I call it the law of subtraction. That's how we apply. Easiest way to appreciate what you're not appreciating.
Take it away.
So the pleasures will increase in your life of that.
Okay.
So basically, you're basically seeking pleasure, not addiction. And that pleasure can come from various things.
Okay.
It can come from eating food. It can come from meaningful relationship with somebody.
Okay.
It can come from sex.
Okay.
It can come from the high that you receive after a physical effort, a very difficult hike, or doing a very hard set of leg workout. So you can recalibrate yourself.
Okay.
So that's how I would overcome addiction. Your body's not seeking addiction, it just wants pleasure. And you get too comfortable in your way, then you get stuck in a rut, and your experience of pleasure gets lower and lower, so you need to look for a quick fix, a booze here and then. So that's why you want to basically willingly every now and then make yourself uncomfortable.
Okay. And then on the loneliness aspect, actually, let's say someone, I think because of the loneliness, people is lacking of confidence or lacking self-belief and insecurity. So what kind of words of wisdom would you say for someone dealing with that?
You have to be willing to take the step, which requires putting yourself out there. But just remember, the step that you take, even if it's a rejection, the worst is you're back to where you are. Okay. So there's only everything for you to win. You cannot go further back than where you are. So, the first step is always to reach out there and make that effort. But again, the same thing, environmental design. Environmental design. Choose the people around you. Or just shift the location of your address and existence wherever you are, change that, and all the stimulus changes. Our minds hold a certain amount of memory and experiences. Out of all of that, how do we choose what to think? What do you think? Say everything you are to write, you have here, an encyclopedia, a Google, so to speak. How do you figure out what to focus on?
Whatever is in front of me.
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
So basically, imagine your mind to be the internet. Okay. The Google search. And then you type in the word. Like say, Mr. Bhutan. And then your reality becomes everything with Mr. Bhutan. It's an associative machine. Same thing with the mind too. So if you're stuck in a rut, you are in a rut because the environment around you is typing just those keywords in your Google search.
Okay.
Once you change your environment, the words will be typed something differently. If you observe, most of the time, the whole day you conduct your life, a single day, if you observe, next time you observe, if you don't observe, you will not notice. You think that you are thinking what you choose to think, but the reality is not. It's the people, for example, this conversation, I'm very acutely aware that I'm not the one who's leading. I'm not thinking what I'm thinking. I have other things to think about. I would have structured this conversation very differently. But you invited me to this podcast and you channeled the conversation by asking me a question. You typed in my Google search the words and I created an association and I'm providing it to you. So if you observe your whole day, most of the time, majority of the time, all the keyword searches are being typed by the people around you. The media that you consume, the people that you hang around with, your profession, your country, your environment, everything that you observe through your five senses are typing keywords. And most of the time, you are not the one who's typing it. And the more frequently you type a word, again, algorithm, same thing works here to algorithm. The more they will spring up easily, more quickly, and in larger number for you to choose from. So that's why changing your environment is the easiest, lowest hanging fruit and a very, very powerful one. Very few people are able to transcend the environment they inhabit. Be in the presence of 5 alcoholics and still not touch alcohol. That's the kind of person. Almost non-existent. So that's why, rather for us who fall in the normal category of ordinary people, shape your environment. Ask yourself where you want to go, who you want to become. And now, what is the most conducive environment to that? Does that mean moving to New York is the best choice? Does it mean changing your job? Does it mean finding a new partner? Does it mean re-educating yourself and going to a university? You need to ask yourself those questions. Depending, on what your goal is, who you want to become, then you need to design an environment. That's the easiest way. Full blood and guts don't work. Works for a short while, sooner or later you crumble. Because willpower is very, very limited. This is what we really go deep into through the anti-fragile education. Eventually, your environment will break you. Those who transcend the environment, eventually, they become the impetus, the first drop in the ocean to change the constitution of the ocean. But those are very few amongst us.
Tashi, by saying that, do you believe in free will?
Knowing what I know, at the end you still have a choice. But for that, like Buddha said, you have to wake up first. You have to light up the darkness. see what's in front of you. So you can either choose to bang onto the coffee table, climb over it, walk around it, or throw the coffee table completely. But when you're in the dark, you don't know where you're going, you're banging. So that's why you need to be awake.
How do you wake up?
You wake up by truly understanding the Homo sapiens that you are, both in terms of mind and body, and what this vehicle that we right now currently inhabit is designed to do, how it is shaped, how it has been shaped, how it can be reshaped. And the coolest thing is, we are the only living creatures on this planet that is as flexible and as malleable as we are. At any age, we can change our biology, we can change our mindset. If only you understand the tools, though.
Okay.
But irrespective, again, I'll go there. Irrespective to education, wealth, travel experience, most people have zero idea of how that body and mind functions. But they think they do.
Okay.
Till you encounter an education like antifragile education, where you truly see it from scratch. You see the glow in children's eyes when we go into these topics and discuss. Right now, we're just touching it superficially, but we really go deep into it.
Okay.
And they even pose questions, and then, I give examples in their lives to understand. Then they really glow. And they say, some of the students even have said, so the things that I studied in school, I've forgotten. But this, I'm quite sure I'll remember. Because, it is a kind of tool that is always useful in every aspect of your life. So basically, you become awake by understanding that mind and body of yours. Once you truly do that, then you will take full responsibility. Either you'll accept the life as you are and be very happy, or you'll take charge and you'll enjoy the process of how it's such a cool tool this is and how we can change it and learn the rules of it. Because I'm not asking any of the students to become someone. I'm just offering them the tools that currently doesn't exist. And once they have those tools, I'm asking them, you figure out a way to use. But my hope is someday when you're awake, after taking care of yourself, you'll find a way to give back to the world in your own special way. Where each one of us has a special gift that we need to now either use selfishly for ourselves or in a manner that serves the world around us as well. So the tool to become awake is truly understand your mind and body, not in the spiritual sense, not in the religions, but in a very, very practical sense.
Okay. All right. Understood. Okay, Acho, I always tell my guests, this is not an interview, it's a conversation. So right now I've been asking you, I think 10 questions in a row. So I'll give you an opportunity to ask me any question, Acho. Would you like to ask me anything? If you want to, I'm ready.
Why did you choose me to be interviewed?
When I look at fitness in Bhutan, the first person in mind comes to me is you, because I saw you growing up. And recently, since I also hang out in Mamas, which is right opposite to your temple, I've seen the temple and Ngaung is a friend. So I asked about the concept and I really thought it was something different. And we'll give some, and then Acho's also target market is the young men and students.
Target market.
Target market, at least the people who want to come and to the temple. So I thought this would be a good platform for us to have a good conversation. And I'm also learning something. And I'm sure maybe someone who's listening right now might have learned something along the way. So I thought it would be good to engage in a conversation. And also, I also believe in the power of the mind. And I think the mind is more stronger than the body because it can push the body to do what it cannot. And a person like you who's done multiple, competitions in bodybuilding, I think you need a lot of resilience and mental fortitude. So I just want to understand and try to pick your brain in order how you get there. It's not like I want to get there, but I think you can translate all these tools in any way part of your life, whether it be my content, or whether it be being a good friend or good in career. So I thought I just want to pick your brain, understand, and maybe I can use some of the tools you mentioned on my own life.
Good to know.
Okay.
Good to know.
Okay, Acho, now we're coming towards the end of the podcast. Usually I cannot offer more than coffee and fresh air. So towards the end, I always offer my guests anything you want to promote or plug. The floor is yours. You can talk about anything or any messages, or maybe you can talk about Antifragile Temple. So that's your last thing. You can look in the camera, and then if you want to promote anything, chance is yours.
Okay. My current purpose in life right now is to dedicate myself to the students of Antifragile Temple, for all those of you watching this podcast. If you found anything valuable in it and you would like to delve deeper into it, then I would like to inform you now there is a place called Antifragile Temple in the heart of Thimphu, which is accessible to everyone with or without money. And if you want to truly understand your mind, your body, and then begin to shape the life that you want, this is the place to be. We exist to serve you. So I hope the Bhutanese youth and Bhutanese citizens will embrace this place and find value in what we are trying to offer. So I will be here till mid of August. I'm there through all the opening hours. So if you come by, please shake my hand and then maybe tell me a little bit about yourself. So thank you for watching and listening to us.
Okay, Achu. Thank you for that. Okay, Achu, last few questions before we wrap up. We've already talked about the cheat meal, but usually I ask my guests, if tomorrow you die, what would they be your death row meal? You think it's the same meal as your cheat meal, or you want to eat something differently if it was a final meal?
No, I don't think so. I'm not much into food. I try to stay one step before hunger, so then the food doesn't shape me. So no, not at all.
So no dream meal before you die? Water is fine?
No dream meal. No dream meal. I would just maybe repeat my love for all those around me.
Okay, wow.
Although
I got too deep. I talk about food, but now getting family deep.
Remember, our common friend Karma, she said, this guy's too serious. But what can I do? I mean, I have a mission. And each moment, knowing the limitation of time, uncertainty, resources, energy, I want to shed light and invest myself into what I find most valuable. In the future, it may change. Service will also remain the same. But the path right now is Antifragile Temple. And that's why when you invited me here, I saw that as the opportunity. If you gave me an opportunity, I would talk nothing about myself, but only about the Antifragile Temple and its students and its education system.
Okay, all right. Another usual question I do for my guests, an unserious one, simple. Okay. Lays, do you eat Lays, Achu? I'm not sure if
I tried a couple of times.
Okay, so which Lays flavor is your favorite? It's a personality test. Depending on what color is your favorite, then I can come up with your personality. So there's like...
Okay. Yeah, I know a few, but I used to have real nice flavor which is difficult to get. I think it's a masala one.
Okay.
They had a masala flavor.
Okay, that's blue.
Do you know which one? I don't know. It's the papri chaat, sorry.
Papri chaat. Oh.
You remember?
I remember, but discontinued now.
Yeah, but that was my favorite. I remember.
A little sweet, is it?
No, papri chaat is basically sweet and sour at the same time.
Okay.
But there's a nice blend that I like.
All right. Oh, that's a very unique answer. Usually people, they pick the regular ones, the blue or green Lays, but just picking a very discontinued.
Okay, so please interpret.
So the interpretation is simple. I believe most people in Bhutan are what you call like having very basic taste. Like they watch the same movies, like the same things. So if you're a basic person, you like blue Lays. And if you're not, then you're a little different from the norm.
Okay.
So I want to know how different you are.
Okay.
So Achu is a little very different. Discontinued flavor. So you do with that information.
So I'm obsolete.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. Okay, Achu. Yeah, I'll go to one last. So our final question is, I just thought about...
throw me some fun questions so people know that I'm not that serious as well.
Okay, so we're going to do a tier list ranking, okay? Have you know what a tier list is, Achu? So F, D, C, B, A, and S. So S is like the cream of the crop best. F is bad, and then everything else in between, you can make a decision, okay? So I'll mention a few things, give it a grade, okay, Achu, score.
Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, because I'm not familiar with that grading system.
No, but it's simple. S is very good, A is good, B is medium, C is almost bad, D is bad, F is terrible. It's just
S, A, B, C, D, F.
Oh, and S is like best of the best, okay? All right, let's do supplements.
Personally for me?
Yeah, it's your opinion. Supplements, okay. Vitamin D.
Vitamin D. This is so difficult question to answer because it depends on your skin color, depends where you live.
No, just general in your personal opinion.
Okay, generally speaking, statistically, okay. F.
F.
I think it's overused.
Okay, right, fine. Hot take. Okay, protein, whey protein.
D.
D. Creatine.
A.
A. Oh, nice. Okay, what about intermittent fasting?
B.
Okay, magnesium.
F.
Oh, ashwagandha.
B.
Oh, nice. So, what about pre-workout?
F.
Okay. What about keto diet?
B.
Okay. Vegan diet?
B.
Let's say then 1 meal a day diet, which you tried.
B.
B. Okay. Now let's go for different types of exercises. CrossFit.
C.
Marathon running.
D.
D. Weight training.
S.
Oh, yoga.
A.
Okay. Deadlifts.
C.
Squats.
A.
Oh, wow. Okay. Bench press.
C.
Dumbbell press.
Shoulder dumbbell press or chest
Okay,
dumbbell?
let's go shoulder dumbbell press.
A.
Okay, all right. Okay, I got a few good questions. Okay, so Ach, what do you think is like top 3 exercises that you recommend for anybody which will be good for their life?
Just well-being?
Well-being, nothing like competition level, crazy level, lay person. 3 exercises, if they go exercise, what 3 exercises would you like recommend?
Exercise or activity?
Activity, exercise, anything. Okay, how about that?
First and foremost, walking.
Okay.
It's really good for the mind, for the body, and almost everyone can do. Again, remember, it's ease of application as well.
Okay.
Second, breath work.
Breath
It's a
work.
very, very easy way. Is the most accessible form of meditation, both for physical and mental health. We couldn't go into it today, but that's another subject that I'm very well acquainted with. So
breath
that
work,
would be
okay.
breath work. Just for the listeners, so simply inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Very simple.
Okay.
Anytime you're mentally stressed and you want to calm your mind, you want to calm your body, just lie on your back with your palms facing up. If you're hot, palms facing down. If you're cold, on the flat ground. Huh? If you have blood pressure, this and that, you can use a pillow. Otherwise, I would prefer your spine straight. And then stay there, close your eyes. Do not move your body. Just inhale and exhale like that for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, oh wow.
Then after that, you're done with the 10 minutes. Do not control the breath anymore, but just lie still and chill. Very, very relaxing. Immediately at that time, I say 10 minutes. Why? Because that is the most effective dose that I've experienced with my students and myself. And the third has to be weight training. So much science, and now you have gyms everywhere. Even Thimphu has way too many gyms. So weight training. Once a week, 30 minutes will change the quality of your life. Quantified, you just go and research. Quantified at every level. Physical, mental, structural benefits. So walking, breath work, and weight training.
Okay.
2 very, very easy, cost effective. When I say weight training, resistance training. If you don't have weights, it's fine as well. But with weights, what you get in the gym is you get a community. And again, I said, we mirror each other. Very few people go all the way to gym just to sit down. They will do something. So that's, again, the power of environmental design. So those will be my three advice.
Okay. What about 3 books then? How about that?
Or it has to be the top 10 books for life. I would not say 3 books, I would say 10 books
Oh,
for
10
life.
books, okay. I know.
Yeah, 10 books for life.
Okay. And you cannot reveal until you finish one, right? So
Yeah, I would prefer not to.
Okay.
Because I want people to show that they have skin in the game. It's not just lip service.
Yeah.
They're really serious about finding out what we do. Then you need to embrace, at the bare minimum, 1 book, answer the 6 questions I send you, and then meet me in person, where we'll discuss and go deep into the book, into the things that you want to go deeper into the things that you do not understand, and most importantly, how you can apply that into your life in a manner that is sustainable. Because change without time will not give you the kind of dividends that you're seeking. So it requires time, and the only way you make time your friend is to have a good habit that is sustainable.
Okay. All right. I think that's a nice way to call it a podcast. But okay, one last one. You actually said I'm asking too many questions, which doesn't make you seem like you're a fun guy. What do you do for fun other than watching movies? Actually, let's say it's a weekend. You have all the time free. You have an opportunity to do whatever you want. What are you doing for fun?
I'm not. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm that kind of fun guy. I would walk with my dog in the forest.
And that's fun for you.
And I will just dream.
Wow.
And for the last few years, I've been continually dreaming about Antifragile Temple.
Oh, it's now nice.
I just continue to dream. Continue. The question in my mind is, how do I shape the education system and Antifragile Temple as a physical identity in a manner that will achieve our life's mission.
Okay. So what do you hope actually? What is your ultimate goal there? What will Antifragile become? What is that dream you're looking for?
The hope is that children will grow out of it into independent human beings that will come back to Antifragile Temple and say, when I needed, you were here. Now, how can I serve you? And then with that, whatever they have to, because I say no matter who you are, there's always something that you can offer. Whatever you can offer, we'll try and channel it into making this education system flourish. But even going further than that is basically, at some point in the future, I see the youth taking this tiny, insignificant idea and making it much better than I could possibly imagine. The youth takes this idea, makes it better, and runs Antifragile Temple by the youth, for the youth.
Okay. All right, Raju. Thank you so much for joining us. I think we've learned a lot along the way. And if there was anything to offer, I offered my guest you, and you offered a lot of good advice today. So I also helped.
Of course.
Right.
And as I said, you get the whole credit of this conversation we have, because I came a willing candidate to be manipulated by you.
But thank you so much, Ashu. I really
Pleasure.
appreciate you having here, and I like the fact that you also came just like I came, which is with an open mind and with
that's what
no
I did.
information. So I hopefully enjoyed the conversation, and hopefully you guys also enjoyed the conversation. And if you've watched this episode towards the end because of this face, please consider subscribing because of this face. So thank you, and I have to say thank you to the PODHEADS again. They're in the air. Thank you to our PODHEADS. We love you, appreciate you. Hopefully today you got some good life lessons and you're out of your ass doing some exercise and eating the right food. And shout out to our PODHEAD pros: Rabsel, Lhendup, E05, DQ, Norbu 7868, Rinzen Wong 6741, Kukumba Tshomo, Tanin Poops, Norbu Digital, Karma Zimba 9121, Pema Samdru 639, and Susan B. Lasso. Thank you so much. Until the next episode, goodbye. Okay, actually, we have a tradition where in the end we just do one single clap. Okay, actually. So 1, 2, 3. Lasso.
Wow. Nice.